Some places make you feel right at home, while others make you double-check your surroundings like you're in a horror movie. Finding safe countries for Black people isn't just about avoiding danger. It's about discovering places where you're truly welcomed, respected, and free to thrive. We all know that racial tolerance, quality of life, and safety vary wildly across the globe. Some nations embrace diversity like a warm hug, offering permanent residence and opportunities without side eyes or awkward stares. Others, let's just say you wouldn't even want to be a tourist there. So, where should you go if you want a multicultural country that actually values your presence? A place where you can stroll through the streets without feeling like an exotic animal at a zoo? Buckle up, because we're revealing the 10 safest countries for Black people. And trust me, some of these will shock you. Which ones made the list? Stick around to find out. And while you're here, hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment, because we both know you have some thoughts on this. Number 10, South Africa. Imagine stepping into a country where the majority of people actually look like you, and the culture is a vibrant mix of African traditions, modern city life, and breathtaking landscapes. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, welcome to South Africa, a country that's as bold and diverse as a plate of jollof rice at a family cookout, minus the debate over which country does it best. Now, let's get real. South Africa has its challenges. We're not here to sugarcoat things. But when it comes to racial tolerance, cultural richness, and opportunities for Black people, this country stands out. Why? Because here, being Black isn't a minority experience, it's the norm. You're not going to get those awkward stares or be asked ridiculous questions like, "Can I touch your hair?" Nope. South Africa gets it. South Africa isn't just any country. It's a Black majority nation, meaning you don't have to fight for representation. You are the representation. The country is home to over 61 million people, with Black South Africans making up about 81% of the population. That means you'll find everything from Black-owned businesses to cultural hubs where being Black is just a part of daily life, not a political statement. Ever heard of Soweto? It's more than just a township. It's a symbol of Black resilience and culture. You can visit Nelson Mandela's former home, enjoy some live music, and chow down on some of the best food in the country. Because let's be honest, food is culture, and South Africans take their braai barbecue game seriously. If you're looking for modern city life, South Africa has you covered. Johannesburg is the economic powerhouse, bustling with opportunities, Black entrepreneurs, and a nightlife scene that can give New York a run for its money. Durban, that's the laid-back coastal city where you can soak in the sun while sipping on a refreshing glass of rooibos tea. And let's not forget Cape Town, where nature and culture collide in the most Instagram-worthy way possible. One thing South Africa doesn't play about? Black wealth and entrepreneurship. The country is home to a growing number of Black millionaires and business moguls. In fact, South Africa has the highest number of Black billionaires in Africa, including heavyweights like Patrice Motsepe, who built his fortune in mining. And if you're thinking about moving or starting a business, the cost of living in South Africa is shockingly affordable compared to many Western countries. You can live well without breaking the bank, which means more money for travel, investments, or just flexing responsibly. Now let's address the elephant in the room. South Africa does have a crime problem. There's no sugarcoating that. But here's the real talk. Not every city is a danger zone. Just like you wouldn't roam around the worst parts of Chicago at 2 a.m., the same common sense rules apply here. Stick to safe neighborhoods, be street smart, and enjoy the best the country has to offer. Plus, South Africa has some of the best security services, and most high-crime areas are far from tourist and expat zones. So don't let fear keep you from experiencing a country that celebrates Blackness in its purest form. If you want to live in a country where you blend in instead of stand out, where you can enjoy Black excellence in every form, and where the landscapes look like something out of a National Geographic special, South Africa is worth your attention. Would you consider moving to or visiting South Africa? Number 9. Japan. If safety had a VIP section, Japan would be sitting front row, sipping green tea, completely unbothered. This country isn't just safe, it's next-level safe. Crime rates are so low that people leave their wallets on park benches and actually come back to find them untouched. Meanwhile, in other parts of the world, you leave your phone for 2 seconds, and it's already listed on eBay. But let's get into the real reason why Japan is one of the safest countries for Black people. Unlike some places where you step outside and immediately feel like a science experiment, Japan isn't out here making Black travelers uncomfortable. Yes, you might get a few curious looks, but it's more, wow, cool, than what are you doing here? Let's address the elephant in the room, or in this case, the slight head turn when you walk down the street. Japan is a homogeneous society, meaning almost 98% of the population is Japanese. So, if you're Black, you will stand out, not because people are being rude, but because you're genuinely different from what they see daily. Think of it like this. You ever walk into a store and see a limited edition item on display? You don't necessarily want to touch it, but you're fascinated that it exists. That's how a lot of Japanese people react when they see Black foreigners. Curious, intrigued, and sometimes just trying to figure out what country you're from. But here's the key difference. It's rarely hostile. Unlike some places where curiosity quickly turns into racial profiling, Japan generally operates on a strict code of respect. People mind their business, and unless you do something outlandish like scream in a quiet train car, no one's going to harass you. If you're thinking about visiting, or even moving, Japan has options. Tokyo is a fast-paced, neon-lit dreamland where everything moves at lightning speed, and you can get sushi at 3 a.m. like it's no big deal. If you like city life with a side of cutting-edge technology, this is your spot. Then there's Osaka, Tokyo's funnier, more laid-back cousin. Osaka is famous for its food, takoyaki, okonomiyaki, all the good stuff, and its friendly people. Think of it as a place where locals might actually crack jokes with you, unlike Tokyo, where most people are too busy existing efficiently. And let's not forget Kyoto, Japan's cultural heart, where temples, tea houses, and stunning nature make you feel like you've stepped into a historical drama. If you want peace and quiet without sacrificing modern comforts, Kyoto is a solid choice. One thing you'll appreciate? Japan's transport system is elite. No, seriously. This is the kind of place where trains apologize if they're 30 seconds late. Imagine that happening in New York or London. Never. Whether it's the Shinkansen bullet train zipping across the country, or Tokyo's subway that runs with surgical precision, Japan makes it easy to get around without the stress of driving. You can go months without ever needing a car, and the best part? You won't have to worry about getting pulled over for driving while Black. Japan's healthcare system is one of the best in the world and shockingly affordable. You know how in some places you walk into a hospital and they bill you for just breathing the air? Yeah, that doesn't happen here. Medical costs are reasonable, and if you're living in Japan long-term, you'll have access to their national health insurance. Meaning, you can actually see a doctor without taking out a second mortgage. Japan's work ethic is legendary, almost to a fault. People take their jobs seriously, and the concept of slacking off doesn't exist. If you're thinking about working here, just know that hustle culture is real, and long hours are common. But here's the trade-off. Japan rewards dedication. There's job stability, clear career progression, and respect for skilled workers, no matter where you're from. Foreigners who bring valuable skills, especially in tech, teaching, and business, can thrive here. And if you're an entrepreneur, Japan's market is open for business, especially if you're bringing something unique to the table. If you're looking for a place where crime is practically non-existent, public transport is flawless, and people respect your personal space, Japan is calling your name. Sure, it's not the most diverse country, but what it lacks in diversity, it makes up for in safety, quality of life, and efficiency. What do you think? Would you live in Japan, or is it just a cool place to visit? Number 8. Uruguay. Here's a fun fact you probably didn't see coming. Uruguay is one of the safest, most progressive, and low-key, chillest countries on Earth. Yes, you read that right. While its flashier neighbors, Argentina and Brazil, get all the attention, Uruguay is like that underrated indie artist who's been dropping bangers for years, but nobody's paying attention. Now, if you're wondering, wait, Uruguay? How did this make the list? Stay with me, because this might just be your next dream destination. Let's start with something refreshingly rare in today's world. Uruguayans do not believe in unnecessary drama. This country runs on a live and let live philosophy, meaning that people are respectful, open-minded, and not obsessed with policing how you look, talk, or exist. Racial tension? Almost non-existent. Uruguayans don't spend their time profiling people at airports or clutching their purses when you walk by. And unlike some places where black travelers have to deal with an overwhelming mix of curiosity and condescension, Uruguayans are just cool about it. You ever visit a place where you can actually walk around at night without gripping your phone like it's your last lifeline? That's Uruguay. This country consistently ranks as one of the safest in Latin America, with crime rates that are laughably low compared to some of its neighbors. While parts of South America have a reputation for pickpockets and sketchy street dealings, Uruguay is out here making safety look effortless. Montevideo, the capital, has a laid-back vibe, stunning beaches, and a culture that embraces diversity without the need for a PR campaign. You won't find cops over-policing communities or people giving you the side-eye for existing. You just exist in peace. Montevideo is where the action is, but in a calm, we don't do unnecessary stress kind of way. Think of it as a mini version of Buenos Aires, but with fewer people and a whole lot more chill. The city has a vibrant art scene, great nightlife, and a growing black expat community that's finding a home in this underrated gem. If you're feeling fancy, Punta del Este is where you go to live your best life on the beach, surrounded by some of South America's wealthiest and most relaxed people. It's the kind of place where you can sip on mate, Uruguay's national drink, while watching the waves, completely unbothered. And then there's Colonia, a small town that looks like it was designed for an aesthetic travel vlog. If you're into cobblestone streets, old-school European architecture, and zero stress levels, this might just be your vibe. Uruguay isn't just safe, it's progressive. This country was ahead of its time, legalizing same-sex marriage before the US. Even figured it out, decriminalizing marijuana without the usual political circus, and maintaining a rock-solid democracy in a region where that's not always guaranteed. And let's talk education. Uruguay has one of the highest literacy rates in the world, hovering at around 98%. The country takes learning seriously, and the people here are highly educated, well-read, and surprisingly in touch with global issues. Now, let's be honest. Moving to another country is pointless if you can't build a life there. But Uruguay actually makes that easy. The economy is stable, something that can't be said for every Latin American country, and the cost of living is affordable. You're not going to find "move to Uruguay for $200 a month" headlines, but you can live comfortably without selling your soul to a corporation. And politically, Uruguay is drama-free. No coups, no wild protests, no leaders who disappear midterm. Just a steady government that actually functions. If you're looking for a place where safety is a given, respect is the norm, and you can live without unnecessary racial stress, Uruguay is one of the best-kept secrets out there. It's safe, progressive, affordable, and you'll never have to explain why you're in a certain neighborhood. Would you ever consider visiting Uruguay, or even moving there? Number 7. Barbados. Let's be real. Some places feel like home the moment you step off the plane. And if you're black, Barbados is one of those places. No awkward stares, no over-explaining your existence, no dodging microaggressions like you're in an obstacle course. Just sun, sea, and a whole island full of people who look like you, thriving in their own country. You see, Barbados isn't just another Caribbean island with postcard beaches. It's a black majority nation, over 90% of the population. A place where black culture isn't just a side dish, it's the main course. So if you're tired of places where your blackness is treated like some rare museum artifact, Barbados welcomes you with open arms, a plate of flying fish, and a glass of rum punch. Here's a fun fact. Barbados officially cut ties with the British monarchy in 2021, becoming a republic. And guess what? They kicked off their new era by making Rihanna a national hero. That's right. While some places are out here debating black history, Barbados is literally putting a black woman on a pedestal. That's the energy we love to see. Political stability? Check. Unlike some other Caribbean nations that have seen turmoil, Barbados has one of the most stable governments in the region. This means no sudden coups, No overnight policy changes that make you question your life choices. Just a well-run country that keeps life moving smoothly. If you want a taste of Caribbean city life, Bridgetown is the place to be. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, so you already know it's beautiful, packed with history, markets, and an energetic local scene. It's where culture meets commerce, and you'll never run out of things to do. Looking for something a little more upscale? St. James is known as the Platinum Coast. Fancy name, fancy resorts, and plenty of high-end restaurants where you can sip on a cocktail and pretend you're in a music video. And then there's Whole Town, which blends old-world charm with new-world comfort. Think beautiful beaches, great shopping, and a mix of locals and expats living their best lives. Barbados isn't just about good vibes, it's about economic opportunity too. The country has one of the highest GDPs per capita in the Caribbean, and there's a growing number of Black entrepreneurs and business owners. Barbados actively encourages foreign investment, and with the rise of remote work, more and more people are realizing that you don't have to freeze in a cubicle in New York when you could be working from a beachfront cafe in Barbados instead. Oh, and did I mention the Barbados Welcome Stamp? This genius program lets remote workers live in Barbados for up to a year. No hassle, no complicated visa process. Just pack your laptop and your beachwear, and you're good to go. Here's the thing, Barbados is not a country where stress thrives. The people here move at a different pace, one that doesn't involve rushing everywhere and yelling at traffic. The climate? Tropical perfection all year round. The food? Caribbean flavors at their finest. The music? Soca, reggae, and calypso keep the island alive. And if you're worried about safety, Barbados ranks as one of the safest countries in the Caribbean. Violent crime is low, and locals look out for each other. So if you're looking for a safe, stable, and Black-friendly country with an easygoing lifestyle, Barbados is calling your name. It's more than just a vacation spot. It's a place where you can live, build wealth, and actually feel at home. What do you think? Would you move to Barbados, or is it just a dream vacation spot for now? Number 6. Ghana. How often do you hear about a country that literally rolled out the red carpet for Black people and said, "Welcome home, we've been waiting for you"? Well, that's exactly what Ghana did with its Year of Return movement, and let's just say, people showed up like it was a Beyoncé concert. Ghana isn't just a safe place for Black people, it's a Black majority country that actively embraces its global diaspora. Here, you're not a minority. You're not an outsider. You belong. Let's be honest, Black people around the world have spent centuries dealing with being the other. But Ghana? Nah, Ghana said, "You're family." That's why in 2019 the government launched the Year of Return, inviting people of African descent to reconnect with their roots. And it worked. Over 1.5 million visitors flooded into the country, including celebrities like Ludacris, Steve Harvey, and Naomi Campbell. But this wasn't just a PR stunt, it reignited a movement. Since then, Ghana has simplified residency laws for Black expats, opened business opportunities, and made it clear, if you want to build a future here, Ghana has space for you. If you're looking for a thriving, modern African city, Accra is where you start. It's bustling, vibrant, and unapologetically Black. Here you'll find everything from rooftop bars with Afrobeats vibes to tech startups building Africa's future. Kumasi, the capital of the Ashanti region, is where history meets culture. If you've ever wanted to see the legacy of African royalty without a watered-down colonial lens, this is where you'll feel it. And then there's Cape Coast, home to one of the most important historical sites in the world, the Cape Coast Castle. It's a powerful, emotional place where visitors walk through the door of no return, a stark reminder of the transatlantic slave trade. But today, it's also a place of healing, connection, and reclamation. You ever walk into a store and see Black-owned businesses everywhere? That's just life in Ghana. From fashion designers creating world-class African prints to tech entrepreneurs building startups that are putting Silicon Valley on notice, Black success isn't an exception here. It's the standard. And speaking of business, the cost of living in Ghana is relatively affordable. Yes, Accra can get pricey because, let's be real, every major city has its bougie side. But compared to Western cities, your money stretches further. Housing, food, and daily expenses? Manageable. Now, let's talk politics. Ghana is one of the most stable democracies in Africa. Unlike some places where elections feel like a season finale of a political thriller, Ghana's government transitions are peaceful and predictable. That means no sudden uprisings, no internet shutdowns, just a functioning country that actually cares about keeping things in order. This stability has made Ghana one of the best places for expats to settle. The country welcomes foreign investment, has a low crime rate compared to other West African nations, and has a growing middle class that's shaping the future of the economy. If you've ever dreamed of reconnecting with Africa, living in a black-majority country where you don't have to explain yourself, and being part of one of the fastest-growing economies on the continent, Ghana should be on your list. Would you consider visiting Ghana or even relocating? Feeling inspired yet? If you're loving this list so far, take a second to smash that like button, because trust me, you don't want to miss the next 5 countries coming up. Also, drop a comment below. If you could move to any country on this list so far, which one would it be? Let's see which destination is winning. And of course, hit that subscribe button so you never miss a video that could change the way you see the world. Now, let's get back to the list, because we've got some surprises coming up. Number 5. Finland. Let's be real. Some countries struggle just to keep their streetlights working, while others have somehow unlocked the cheat codes to safety, prosperity, and people just minding their own business. Finland? Yeah, it's definitely one of those countries that figured it all out. If you're looking for a place where you can walk around at 2 a.m. without clutching your belongings like a lifeline, Finland is that country. Low crime? Check. High standard of living? Double check. People who won't stare at you like you just landed from Mars? Triple check. So why aren't more people talking about it? Maybe because Finland isn't flashy. It's not out here throwing its greatness in your face like a reality TV star. Instead, it's that quiet, confident country that just delivers on everything that actually matters. Let's be honest, no one enjoys feeling like an exhibit at a human zoo. And in some countries, being black means enduring stares, invasive questions, or random people wanting to touch your hair like it's a community art project. Finland? Not happening. Finns are famously introverted, so much so that even they avoid unnecessary small talk with each other. So if you move here expecting someone to suddenly ask about your life story in the grocery store, it's not happening. Instead, you'll get the peace and personal space you never knew you needed. If you want the big city experience, Helsinki is the place to be. It's modern, well-organized, and full of cafes where people sip coffee in silence like it's an Olympic sport. And while it may not be the most diverse city on the planet, black expats here consistently report feeling safe and respected. Tampere is a little smaller, but packed with charm, and it has some of the best views for those Instagram-worthy winter shots. Just don't forget your thermal gear, because Finnish winters don't play. And then there's Turku, Finland's oldest city, where history meets a laid-back atmosphere, and you're more likely to be greeted with a polite nod than an interrogation about your ethnicity. While some countries struggle to provide the basics, Finland overachieves on nearly every metric. Education? Finland consistently ranks as one of the best in the world, and teachers here are treated like VIPs, because apparently, respecting educators actually leads to a smarter population. Who knew? Healthcare? Universal and shockingly efficient. No medical bankruptcy here. Social security? Let's just say if life ever knocks you down, Finland won't let you hit rock bottom. Let's keep it real. No country is 100% free of racism. But in Finland, racism isn't the national pastime. Discrimination happens at a much lower rate compared to many Western countries, and when it does, the law actually takes it seriously. This means no random stop-and-frisk encounters, no systemic targeting, and no hostile immigration policies designed to make you feel unwelcome. Finland has strict anti-discrimination laws. And let's be real, when your country is ranked as one of the happiest places on earth, you really don't have the energy to be hateful. If you like quiet, safe, and well-run countries where people respect your space and the government actually works, Finland should definitely be on your radar. What do you think? Would you move to Finland, or is it a little too chilly for your taste? Number 4. New Zealand. Picture this, a country so chill that even the sheep outnumber the people. by a lot. That's New Zealand for you, a place where the biggest daily decision might be whether to hit the mountains or the beach, and sometimes both in the same day. But beyond the stunning landscapes and postcard-perfect views, New Zealand is one of the safest and most welcoming countries for Black people. How safe are we talking? Well, let's just say that police here don't even carry guns unless absolutely necessary. Meanwhile, in some countries, you can't even walk to the corner store without hearing sirens every 5 minutes. But let's get into what makes New Zealand more than just a travel destination. This could actually be your next home. New Zealand has a strong culture of respect, and not the kind where people fake a smile and then talk about you later. Kiwis, that's what New Zealanders call themselves, are genuinely open-minded, friendly, and welcoming to newcomers. This is a country that values diversity, fairness, and equality, meaning you don't have to walk around with that "I hope they're not judging me" radar turned on. And if you're wondering how progressive they are, let's just say New Zealand was the first country in the world to give women the right to vote, way back in 1893. Clearly, they don't wait around for the rest of the world to catch up. If you want to blend into a multicultural city with tons of opportunities, Auckland is your spot. It's New Zealand's biggest city and home to a large immigrant community, with people from all over the world calling it home. Wellington, the capital, is quirky, artsy, and full of personality. Kind of like Portland, but with better coffee and less rain. And if you're looking for a slower pace but still want city life, Christchurch offers a laid-back vibe without the chaos of bigger cities. No matter where you go, you'll find a relaxed atmosphere, low crime rates, and a strong sense of community. Let's be honest, there's no such thing as a country completely free of racism. But here's the difference with New Zealand. Racism isn't built into the system, and when it does show up, people actually address it. The country has strong anti-discrimination laws, and you won't find yourself dealing with the same level of racial profiling or workplace bias that's common elsewhere. People here care more about whether you're a good person than the color of your skin. Plus, New Zealand has a history of recognizing indigenous rights. The Maori people, the country's first inhabitants, have fought for and secured legal protections, cultural respect, and land rights, something a lot of Western nations still struggle with. The takeaway? This is a country that doesn't ignore injustice. If you're tired of fast-paced, stressful city life, New Zealand's quality of life might just spoil you. Work-life balance? A real thing here. People actually clock out on time and go enjoy their lives. Nature? The country looks like a never-ending National Geographic special, from glacier lakes to volcanoes to beaches. Healthcare? Affordable and accessible. No ridiculous medical bills ruining your peace. Safety? New Zealand consistently ranks as one of the safest countries in the world. If you're looking for a peaceful, open-minded country where safety is a given, nature is breathtaking, and people actually respect your presence, New Zealand should definitely be on your radar. What do you think? Could you see yourself living in New Zealand, or is it just a dream vacation spot for now? Number 3. Costa Rica. Costa Rica is the kind of place where stress goes to die. No, really. This country is so laid back that it abolished its military in 1948 and never looked back. Meanwhile, in other countries, they can't even agree on fixing potholes, let alone getting rid of an entire army. But let's get into why Costa Rica is one of the safest and most welcoming countries for Black people. It's not just about crime rates being lower than your phone battery at 2%. This country is all about peace, nature, and good vibes. Costa Rica is known as the Switzerland of Central America. But let's be real, it's got way better weather and a fraction of the price tag. With no military, Costa Rica pours its money into things that actually matter, like education, healthcare, and protecting its insanely beautiful environment. And when it comes to safety, Costa Rica is consistently ranked as one of the safest countries in Latin America. The crime rate here is significantly lower than most of its neighbors, and the locals? They live by the pura vida lifestyle, which basically translates to pure life, but really means relax, enjoy, and don't stress yourself out. If you're coming from a place where paranoia is a survival skill, this might take some getting used to. But trust me, once you adapt, there's no going back. Costa Rica is beautiful everywhere, but where do you go for the best mix of culture, safety, and opportunity? San Jose. The capital is bustling but still chill, with expats, digital nomads, and a growing Black community finding success here. It's got great infrastructure, decent public transport, and plenty of work opportunities. Puerto Limón. Now, if you're looking for rich Black culture in Costa Rica, this is your spot. Home to a strong Afro-Caribbean influence, Puerto Limón is vibrant, full of soul, and deeply connected to its African roots. It's where you'll find reggae blasting from beachside bars, locals dancing like they invented rhythm, because they probably did, and food so good it'll make you rethink your life choices. Unlike some places where one trip to the hospital can send you straight into financial ruin, Costa Rica has one of the best healthcare systems in Latin America, and it's actually affordable. Whether you use public healthcare, which is top-notch, or private hospitals, which are still cheaper than in most Western countries, you won't be selling a kidney to cover medical bills. Costa Rica isn't just about chilling on the beach, though you'll definitely want to do that too. This country takes sustainability seriously, producing over 99% of its electricity from renewable sources. The government is so focused on going green that it plans to become completely carbon neutral in the coming years. So if you care about the planet and want to live in a place that isn't actively trying to destroy it, Costa Rica should be on your radar. If you want to wake up to tropical paradise, live in a country that values peace over conflict, and be surrounded by people who actually enjoy life, Costa Rica is calling your name. What do you think? Could you see yourself living in Costa Rica, or are you just adding it to your travel bucket list? Number 2, Portugal. Some places talk about diversity, and then there's Portugal, where being welcoming isn't a PR stunt, it's just a way of life. In a world where Black travelers sometimes feel like they're auditioning for acceptance, Portugal is that cool, laid-back friend who just says, "Relax, you're good here." This country is quietly stealing the spotlight as one of the best places for Black expats and travelers, and for good reason. Low crime? Check. Friendly locals? Double check. Affordable cost of living? Triple check. The only thing you'll have to worry about in Portugal is deciding whether to live by the beach in a charming historic city or tucked away in a vineyard-filled countryside. Portugal doesn't just tolerate diversity, it embraces it. With strong African and Brazilian influences, this country is rich in culture, music, and food that will have you questioning why you didn't move here sooner. And the best part? You don't have to deal with the constant racial stress that some Western countries seem determined to never fix. Lisbon. The capital is a vibrant mix of old and new, where you'll find bustling markets, Afro-Portuguese restaurants, and a nightlife scene that doesn't believe in sleep. Porto. A little more low-key than Lisbon, but just as beautiful. If you love cobblestone streets, stunning river views, and world-class wine, this is your spot. Algarve. If beaches, sunshine, and resort-like living year-round sound good to you, Algarve is the move. It's where expats go when they decide they've had enough of winter and overpriced rent. Portugal is becoming one of the most popular destinations for Black expats, especially from the US, the UK, Brazil, and various African nations. The country has a deep-rooted African influence, thanks to its historical ties to Angola, Mozambique, Cape Verde, and Guinea-Bissau. This means you're not going to feel like the only Black person in the country. Far from it. There are Afro-Portuguese communities, Black-owned businesses, and cultural festivals that highlight African and Brazilian heritage. And let's talk safety. Portugal has one of the lowest crime rates in Europe. No constant worrying about your surroundings. No driving while Black nonsense. Just peace. Compared to places like the US and the UK, Portugal is ridiculously affordable. Rent? You can still find good apartments for less than what some people pay for a parking spot in New York. Healthcare? High quality, accessible, and not designed to ruin your finances. Food? Fresh, flavorful, and so cheap you'll actually enjoy grocery shopping. And with Portugal offering multiple residency options, including the Golden Visa program, moving here isn't some far-fetched dream, it's an actual plan. If you want safety, affordability, culture, and a community that won't make you feel like an outsider, Portugal might just be the best decision you ever make. What do you think? Would you move to Portugal, Or is it just a dream vacation spot for now? Number 1. Canada. Canada is so safe, so welcoming, and so polite that even their geese apologize. Okay. Maybe not, but the people sure do. You could bump into someone on the street and they'll be the one saying sorry. That's the level of kindness we're talking about here. But let's get to the facts. Canada isn't just one of the safest countries in the world, it's also one of the most multicultural. And for Black people looking for a country that values diversity, equality, and opportunities, this is the gold standard. Some places love to say they're inclusive, but Canada actually backs it up with laws, policies, and a general culture of respect. With strong anti-racism laws, progressive policies, and a history of welcoming immigrants, Canada is one of the few places where you can truly feel like you belong without constantly having to prove yourself. And guess what? Canada doesn't just tolerate diversity, it thrives on it. More than 8% of the country's population is Black, and cities like Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver, and Ottawa have strong, well-established Black communities. Toronto. This city is basically the world's most successful cultural experiment. With over 200 ethnic groups and more than 50% of the population born outside Canada, Toronto is as global as it gets. Caribbean culture? Check. African influence? Absolutely. Black-owned businesses? Thriving. Montreal? If you love European charm, bilingual culture, and a Black community with deep Caribbean roots, Montreal is your spot. Plus, the food scene here is unmatched. From Haitian griot to African jollof, your taste buds will never be bored. Vancouver, a mix of stunning landscapes, laid-back West Coast vibes, and a growing Black expat scene. Plus, the job market here is strong, and you can literally snowboard and surf on the same day. Ottawa, the capital city, is clean, organized, and full of government jobs, which means job security, great benefits, and no workplace nonsense. Also, Black Canadians have made major contributions to the city's culture, from politics to the arts. Let's be honest, healthcare in some countries is a financial horror movie. But in Canada, universal healthcare means you can actually go to the doctor without fear of bankruptcy. That alone makes Canada a top-tier country to live in. Opportunities galore. A strong job market for Black professionals. Unlike some places where job applications mysteriously disappear after seeing your last name, Canada actively recruits Black professionals, entrepreneurs, and skilled workers. The country has one of the strongest economies in the world, and fields like tech, healthcare, engineering, and business are booming. Plus, Black Canadians are excelling in politics, business, entertainment, and academia. So success here isn't just possible, it's happening. Let's be clear. No country is perfect. Yes, racism exists, but Canada actively works to combat it. Hate crimes are taken seriously, and discrimination is illegal in ways that actually get enforced. And unlike some places where governments pretend racism is not that bad, Canada acknowledges its issues and works to fix them. If you want a multicultural country where safety is a given, healthcare won't bankrupt you, and opportunities are everywhere, Canada might just be your next home. What do you think? Is Canada at the top of your list, or are you still debating? Drop a comment below. That's our list of 10 safe countries for Black people. If you made it this far, thank you for watching, and if you're thinking about making a move, I hope this video gave you some real options. Which country on this list surprised you the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think. And of course, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more travel content. Until next time, stay safe and keep exploring the world.